So we got permanent residency in Mexico a couple of months ago, and everyone assumes that we're packing up and leaving. But here's what actually changed, and it's probably not what you think. Hi, I'm Lynn.
Hi, I'm Joyce.
And welcome to our channel,
GenX
Quench. And we are on this journey of residency and pre-retirement, and appreciate all of you all being part of the Quench crew and along for the ride. So as always, before we jump into this video today where we talk about Mexican residency and what's next, please stop, like, share, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future GenX Quench videos. So let's jump into it. Mexican residency, permanent Mexican residence. We have a video that we talk about that process, and we'll link that in the description below. But we've gotten it, we've gotten back home, and you know, what's next? Let's talk about it. So Mexican residency, talk about it, Joyce. Let's level set everyone.
Well, let's clear up any preconceptions or misconceptions. First of all, Mexican residency is not citizenship. So we're not getting a passport. We're not voting in Mexican elections. We're not protesting the government. No, we're not doing any of that. It just allows us to simply be there full time, come and go as we please. So we can stay one day, we can stay 365 days in a year. So it gives you that flexibility as a resident to just come and go as you please. It also gives you less friction in terms of entry or exit into the country. You also can get access to services like banking or healthcare. So that's obviously important these days. And for us, it's really peace of mind. And we can also bring our loved ones. So we have our mother-in-law with us. So if we want to do family unification process, we can get her temporary residency, which will lead to permanent residency. Because Mexico really believes in having family unity. So that's important as well. We're not selling our house. We're not leaving tomorrow. We're not burning any bridges. So it's really an option, not an obligation.
Yeah. So that's the reality of just having residency in another country and having it in Mexico. The biggest shift that has happened since getting this residency is that our future looks different.
Yes.
And that mainly really comes in the standpoint of like our conversation and the conversations that we're having about retirement and what retirement looks like for us, that, you know, we don't have to talk about someday and it be this just big cloud of, I don't know. We actually have an actual choice of some place to go. Our plan B, it exists. So that we know that if plan A doesn't work, this is plan B, or plan B becomes plan A as far as having Mexico. And it really is that freedom of being able to know that we have the option of going someplace and not necessarily being boxed in anymore by any kind of limitations. We have residency. We talk about Mexico a lot.
A lot.
Yes, it is part of all of our conversations, and especially from the standpoint of the future. So when we talk about the future, we're not talking about plans, and that future could be 18 months, it could be 3 years, it could be 5 years or whatever. But that's been the biggest thing that I've really noticed about, is that having this Mexican residency, it's that we talk about Mexico a lot more in our future.
Right.
And I think that leads into kind of another thing, is that the way that we're going to be traveling in the future is going to be different. And Mexico is a key, you know, I guess, mark in the sand, stake in the ground for how we're traveling. Hey, Quench crew, thank you for your support of this channel. And if you've got questions, we've got answers. Schedule a 30-minute consultation with Joyce and I for any of your questions about residency, pre-retirement, or even starting a YouTube channel. The time is yours. Link is down in the description below.
And we also have an exciting virtual tip jar. So if you learn something, we should earn something. So make a small donation for anything that you've learned in the past. We'd really appreciate it. And also you can like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Back to our video.
Yeah, so how we're going to travel differently, instead of being, I don't know, a vacation, it's more like, okay, how do we integrate into the city? So less touristy and more trying to be like a local, or at least a hybrid, maybe between semi-vacation and a local. Like, for instance, let's not always go out to restaurants and bars. Maybe if we get an Airbnb, let's actually go to a little grocery store, a little market, to see what the difference in the price points are between grocery stores and the market. So really doing that, really being in a neighborhood that we consider potentially living in one day, or at least part of the year. Hey, let's go to certain neighborhoods like Roma Norte, Polanco, or other. There are so many different neighborhoods. For
In
example, in Mexico
Mexico
City,
City,
those are
right.
some in Mexico City, just as an example.
Mhm.
Or por ejemplo in Espanol. But there are other cities we want to travel to within Mexico. Like we mentioned Mexico City, we've never been there. It's the largest city in North America, 3 times the size of New York City. We've heard wonderful things about it, from the culture, libraries, museums, etc. So you got Mexico City, Oaxaca. Oh my God, we keep hearing so much about the mezcal, the tequila, the agave farms. You can do like distillery tours like you can do in Tennessee or Kentucky in the US. So we want to do that. You got San Miguel de Allende, which is supposed to be this cultural hub in terms of art and artisans in Mexico. And then you got La Paz, which is one of the best beaches in North America from what we've heard. So we want to explore all of that.
Yeah, so I think that different type of travel is that as we're looking at our vacation plans and travel plans for 2026 and 2027, Mexico is almost like the starting spot.
Mhm.
We're not necessarily trying to just sort of vacation. Things that we're traveling, we're being intentional about this travel. And even having this channel and taking you all along with us for the ride is that when we go to these places, we definitely will have our cameras and microphone in
Right.
hand, just to document the process and the journey for us and for you. So having Mexico and having that permanent residency, I liken it to having a gym membership. And, when you're thinking about, staying at home versus, oh, I've got this membership card and I want to work out, well, let me go to the gym. It's the same thing as that we have this permanent residency card. So when we're trying to decide where is it that we want to go, then boom, ding, 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 Mexico is top of the list.
Or it's like another analogy is the keys to a kingdom. So
Mm,
now we got the keys and we got this huge kingdom that we've only explored this much of. So
right.
we want to keep visiting different parts of the kingdom to make it feel more homey.
So that's been a really big change is, the future, how we talk about the future, how we're traveling different. And then there's just the emotional side of it about like, how does it actually feel to have this permanent residency? And I think, we're not scared. It's empowering. Just like what we just talked about, there is a whole country for us to explore that one day could be our permanent home. And there's so many places that, all of them have like a different culture, a different flavor.
Right.
And so it's really empowering to know that this whole country is, really in our backyard, in our back pocket, but we are residents of that country. So it's the relief of the what if anxiety, increasingly the political and the economic climate in the US is fragile.
Yes.
It's volatile. And so, there is that what if discussion. And Jice and I have that quite a bit as far as like, wow, do I feel the same way about living here that I used to?
Right.
How do you navigate it in the future? And so, we have some relief about, well, what if this happens? What if this happens?
Right.
We do know that we have an option of a place that we can go. We're just trying to explore where in Mexico would be that place. We have confidence, the preparation, this has been years in the making.
Right.
And so it feels good that all of that preparation and planning has gotten us to where we are today. So we feel secure, we feel confident, and, we have a plan. It's not an escape route, but we have a plan and we have options. And emotionally, that I think has changed that. We're on the other side of all this work from getting Mexican residency, and we can breathe a lot easier because we do have, another home.
Yep. And in terms of who this is for our channel, it's like Gen Xers. So those at midlife, you kind of at a point pre-retirement, you've saved up your money, you've got your funds. This could be a great option potentially for you. If you take our approach as well, it's for those who like to plan. And right now, the nice thing about Mexico, it's got a very defined path in terms of residency, so very clear forward. Some other countries aren't like that. So pretty much if you qualify or you don't. So if you're a planner, Mexico could be a great option for you. It's also for those who need to be close to home on the kind of the same time zones. This is a great option as well. It's also for those of you who have flexibility. You need flexibility in terms of getting back to and from the U.S., etc. But it's not for those who maybe have a single path or only want one way of doing anything. When you move to Mexico, everything I've heard is you got to pack your patience. In certain towns, you're going to need a certain level of Spanish. So if you're not familiar or comfortable learning another language or using technology to help you through that, maybe like a Google Translate, probably not the move for you.
There are some of you that may be watching this channel like, I'm never going to leave America, and you have family reasons or other reasons where you just have zero curiosity about residency. You may want to travel the world, but you don't have that. So we respect the fact that this isn't for everyone. And even to the point that, like I said, we're talking about it. We don't have a defined path, but what's next? It really is about the expansion and the options that, are we leaving in the next, X months? No, we don't have a defined timeline as far as that. But we have a lot more options as far as travel, where we want to go. I think we do have a plan for the places in Mexico that we want to go deeper in and really explore. So definitely more travel throughout the country is on our plan. What hasn't changed? No, we're still US based. We're still here. We still have this channel. We're still doing our work. We're still caregiving for my mom. So those things haven't changed, but all of it has changed from the standpoint of the conversations, the confidence, and the assurance that we do have a plan B. And so you don't have to, I think the net of all of this is that you don't have to have the full plan to take the first step. And that's what we did a year and a half ago in going to the consulate in Raleigh to even start this process. So again, what's next now that we have Mexican residency? Kind of status quo, but we're going to be out in those Mexican streets and we definitely are going to be bringing them to you on this channel. So sound off in the comments. Where are you in this process? Do you have residency? Are you in Mexico right now? Are you thinking about it? Are you in the process? We'd love to keep the conversation going in the comments.
Yeah. And if you're there, what city are you living in or visiting? And what are you looking at? Or if you're not there, what locations are you looking at and why? We'd love to know. And then lastly, what topics do you want us to cover in the future? We're interested in hearing from the Quench crew.
Right. We're definitely here. And if there's any other specific topics about Panama, Mexico, just global residency in general, or this pre-retirement life, yeah, please let us know. We're happy to hear from the Quench crew. And don't forget, if this video has been helpful to you, give us a like, give us a thumbs up. That's important to us. Definitely share it with somebody in your network. And as always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on a GenX Quench video. And with that, Jice, anything else?
That's it. You covered it all.
All right. Well, we will see you in the next video, Quench crew. Adios.
Take care.